Who is Momo Ayase? Momo is both the main protagonist and also the main female protagonist of Dandadan. She is a high school student at Kami High and currently lives with her grandmother, Saiko. As for Momo's parents, Momo herself said that she has no parents. Whether that means they are dead or they abandoned her, we don't know. When it comes to her personality, she has no nonsense attitude and often loses her temper when angered, mainly when having to deal with the shenanigans of her friends and allies. But she is also both friendly and cheerful. Her genuine compassion and empathy make her the type of person who cannot ignore misdeeds being committed or turn her back on others. When it comes to family and friends, Momo's anger can be directed towards anyone who offends them, especially if they cause them harm. Like when Turbo Granny harmed her grandmother Saiko. Momo also loves the actor Ken Takakura, to the point where she even went out with a guy just because he looked like the actor. Just hearing the name or his famous lines will make Momo feel flustered. Also, because Okuran's real name is also Ken Takakura, Momo refuses to call him by his real name and instead just calls him Okuran. When it comes to her past, she was childhood friends with Gigi and originally had a crush on him. One time Momo was forced by her grandmother to perform a daily ritual to give her good luck. This unfortunately caused her to be bullied by the boys around her, including from Gigi. Because of the humiliation, Momo blamed her grandmother and doubted her being a spirit medium. However, she soon came to realize that what she really disliked about the bullying was that it was mainly directed towards her grandmother than towards her, and dismisses the hate she previously had towards her. When it comes to Momo's powers, unlike certain other characters who have yokai powers, Momo herself has psychokinesis. She is capable of seeing spirits and also being one of rare ones to enter empty space. She also has the ability to tap into her kai, allowing her access to spiritual power. Her spiritual power grants her the ability to see and sense the auras of living and non-living things around her. Momo's spiritual power also grants her the ability to exert her influence over them to control the movements of living and non-living things. Her psychokinesis manifests as two large hands or a single link when merged, which are expandable and can latch onto the type of aura she perceives, allowing her to manipulate the target freely with her actual hands. Of course, Momo does have weaknesses as well. Since Momo's power is an extension of her hands, they cannot reflect her grip strength, while she requires no effort to control large targets. If they are immobile or willing, Momo cannot stop them from resisting and may have trouble holding them down. Momo's psychokinesis is also linked to her sense of touch, meaning that her hands are susceptible to the sensation of strain and pain. Momo's psychic arms can be destroyed if an opponent is strong enough to break free from them through sheer brute strength, or if the psychic arms are struck with a strong attack. As a result, Momo will feel immense pain in her hands that will render her unable to manifest her powers for an unspecified period of time. One example of Momo's attack is Momo Tri-Beam, a power of words enhanced version of Momo's psychic blast when she forms a heart shape with her hand and she shouts out Momo Tri-Beam and fires off a blast with increased attack power. Other than her powers, Momo is also a very strong fighter melee combat. As for a role in the story, obviously I'm not going to go through every major role or details she played in each arc, but here are some examples. During the Turbo Granny arc, she meets Okuran, and they make a bet with each other on which is real, ghosts or aliens. Momo herself goes to an abandoned hospital where she ends up getting captured by the Serapos, a race of aliens. Momo ends up unlocking her powers and escapes and counterattacks the Serapos. Later on during the arc, Momo and Okuran then go to the tunnel where Turbo Granny is and they challenge her. At the end of the arc, Momo defeats Turbo Granny by luring her to Kamego City, where her grandmother Psycho waits. Although Turbo Granny doesn't truly get exorcised. When it comes to the Serpo arc, Momo along with Okra and Aira find themselves trapped in empty space at their school thanks to Serpos. Momo herself encounters a Nessie who blasts away the classroom. After Nessie leaves, Momo then goes to Okran and Aira and helps them against the Serpos and the Dover Demon. She holds back the Serpos, allowing Okra and Aira to fight back against the Dover Demon. However, the fight gets interrupted when Nessie returns. All three end up swimming away when Nessie starts to attack. After one of the Serpos combines himself with the Dover Demon and Nessie, it starts to attack the three. However, Momo, Okra, and Aira combine their powers and counterattack the alien Nessie monster, defeating it for good and finally escaping from the empty space. Although Momo finds herself naked, with a naked Okran lying on top of her in front of everyone at the school, which leads to a very embarrassing situation. During the Evil Eye arc, Momo gets a part-time job working at a maid cafe, which is of course adorable. That will be it for that arc. I will go a bit more to that arc during Okran and Gigi's videos. Now, this arc is going to contain some major spoilers, so be warned. During the Danmara arc, Momo finds herself trapped inside a Danmara, a cursed trunk, where the yokai called Fairy Tale card resides. Because the Fairy Tale card, the Danmara is modified into a board game. Inside the cursed trunk, Momo meets Zuma, where they are forced to play the game. After playing through the game and fighting back against the Fairy Tale card, Momo finally escapes from the cursed trunk. However, not without some drawback. Even though Momo escaped, she has now shrunk, and currently in the story, she's still tiny size. And that is it for Momo's video. Next will be Okaran.